Episode of Deep Dive, we caught up with Bajaj Consumers MD Naveen Pandey on the growing hair oil market, how the demand environment is shaping up, and how the dynamics are changing. Listen in to this slice of that conversation.
If you were to look at the past few months, especially post the GST 2.0, we are definitely seeing a gradual build up in the consumer sentiment and the demand sentiment. Obviously, with the recent trends of war, there is a bit of uncertainty and inflation, which is again creeping back up. But otherwise, the demand sentiments have been more or less positive in the past few months.
Sir, this sector is also known for, a lot of unorganized player coming in because you have, you get hair oil on open basis as well. But at the same time, it's a highly penetrated sector. What kind of, formalization have you seen since GST 2.0?
So all kind of reforms and specifically bringing down the tax rate does help the organized sector because the disincentive for non-compliant player comes down. And as we've seen in the past, with every level of reform, we see organized sector gain more over a period of time. However, these are changes which will not come in immediately, but these are structural changes which we should witness over the course of the next few quarters. Um, so if you were to look at it, in our sector, coconut oil was already at a 5%, given that it is in the edible oil category, and hair oil was at 18, and now is at 5. So we definitely believe that this will make oil more affordable. Especially in the put down prices of sachet 1 rupee or 10 rupee, 20 rupee price points, and will drive the loose to branded conversion at a much greater pace.
And where is the demand conversion you're seeing much more happening? Is it happening in the rural areas or tier two cities or in the urban areas?
I think we are seeing both demand uptick in urban as well as rural centers. So overall, I think the demand uptick is across both places. So it's not really a concentrated or a one sector or a one segment led demand uptick. I think the demand uptick is across both urban and rural centers.
Mm. When you mentioned that there are structural changes which is happening to this entire sector, uh, of course GST 2.0 is one such structural change which has come in. But what are the other sectors, other triggers which are there for this sector?
So, see, this is a very high penetrated sector, as you yourself called out. Roughly around 91, 92% of the country's household use, hair oil. So, it's a sector wherein nearly every Indian uses. The opportunity for growth comes in primarily around driving consumption in the bottom of the pyramid, wherein consumers have an opportunity to consume more, and by upgradation on the top end of the pyramid. And I think we are seeing both of these also unlock in the both recent trend where there is we see a demand uptick on the smaller packs in the sachets and in the 10 rupee bottle, as well as we see the continued trend of premiumization on the top end, specifically in urban and across modern trade and e-commerce. So we are seeing both trends play out simultaneously, and that's a very good thing for the sector.
Uh, f- from the margins point of view, sir, this sector also has high margins, 20s and mid 20s margin. How sustainable are these margins, and do they change as you move towards more premium products within the sector?
So, if you look at these margins are fairly, long term in nature. It's not that suddenly somebody has come to these margins from a very low margin or otherwise. I think, a good 20s margin is what is, at par for the course in this sector. And I believe that these margin levels will get maintained over a medium term. Also, these margin levels allow the companies, good headroom to invest behind long-term category building measures like advertising, etc., and are sustainable, hence in sense. Now, obviously, when you look at the entire spectrum of the portfolio of hair oils, it's not similar margin. The price point packs, the access packs at sachet 10 rupees, obviously make lower margins. And as you go towards premium, the larger packs and the more premium, higher average selling price products, they make a bit higher margin. So it's a spectrum, and I think what you should look at is low to mid 20s is basically the median or basically the overall average for the category.